Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening on this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful night known as the One Man Low Council, where we prepare you for the High Council, but also let you all have a bit of fun. Also, Mark Larseth, what's going on? Mark, he says, Odin, what is going on, good sir? What is going on? Sticky V, Mr. Peabody, G Monkey, Tina is in the chat as well. Rosetta Allen is here also. Love me some Rosetta Allen. Dan M, Sticky V, Maverick is here. Lily Patton, what's going on, Lily Patton? Micah D2, what's going on, Micah D2? Cass Hermosa, what's going on? Mamba King says, hello, it's Odin. Yes, indeed, Mamba. Hello, hello. Missed you too, Sticky V. Glad to have you back. Rosetta Allen says, Matt, stiff, sore, and crabby, but happy now you're on. Well, I'm glad that you are happy. I am also in a similar thing where I am just exhausted. I am tired. I've been sleeping terribly for the past week or so because there was a storm over the weekend, the storm that we lost power that caused all the chaos that's been affecting me over the last couple of days, and just so many other things in life in general that have been driving me nuts. End of the school year is not helping. Crazy students is not helping. Getting the question of, when will I know if I'm exempt? When will I know if I'm exempt? Is there a chance that I could still be exempt from your exam? And I'm just sitting here like, hey man, we've just had an entire semester where you could have actually been working, but instead you decided to wait until the last minute. But it's all good. Most of them are pretty good. Pretty damn good people. Let us see. Stream Elements says, Stream Elements bot running Elements okay. Okay, thank you, Stream Elements. Zinewater says, I've heard they're taking the religion out of Tolkien. Also, hail to you, Zinewaters. I read that. I have not actually seen fully the breakdown of it, but are you honestly surprised at this point? So this is talking, for those that may not know, this is talking specifically about the most recent release of the movie Tolkien, which is supposed to be all about J.R.R. Tolkien and his development into the writings of the Lord of the Rings, and just kind of a bit of his backstory, focusing more so on the writer than on the universe that was being built itself. And it's very exciting because I was really hoping that the film was going to dive further into his personal life, to understand that his very close experiences in war, but also his very close experiences with his own personal faith, are the two major things that led to what eventually would become the writings that he would actually, bring about. It's very easy to find Christian elements in all of his writings. It's also easy to find just how much war impacted him because of the way he writes these characters and the way that he presents them. And so that's the kind of stuff I was hoping that we were going to be able to see. I have not seen Tolkien yet, but I have heard this from a bunch of people. Even critics are really not going gaga over this series either, or rather over this movie either. And so I'm starting to wonder if that is the case, if they've taken religion out of it altogether, is it going to be just like another situation? Obviously, a very different movie, very different genre, but I'm wondering if it's going to be something similar to A Wrinkle in Time, where one of the main things that Ava DuVernay wanted to do with A Wrinkle in Time was to take and strip out any and all of the Christian elements of the story, forgetting the fact that the Christian elements of the story were what basically created the foundation of what that story was meant to be about. It's all about fighting against evil. That's all meant, fighting against, the big bad. And instead what it turned into was this ethereal other, but there was no actual Judeo-Christian stuff mentioned actually in it. And obviously you don't have to be a Christian to appreciate that, but just to know, if a story is based off, it'd be like if you said and were told that a story was based off of a Christian element, and that's where the heart and the soul of it come from, but then all of a sudden they take that stuff away. Even if you're not religious, you'll look at that and say, wait a minute, why are you going to take away the stuff that provides the core of the material? You can't just have your cake and eat it too, is I guess the way that we can definitely mention that. But that is interesting. I've heard that too. Have not seen Tolkien yet. I know it is on my list of things to see because it is something that still intrigues me, because I do love me some J.R.R. Tolkien. Micah D2 says, Odin. Rise of Chilo is here as well. CT, what's going on, bruv? Tina says, whoa, River, calm down. Tina says, and today is the birthday of a man born in 1944 in California who is probably celebrating in all those sweet billions he got from Disney. It's George Lucas, right? Isn't that the case? Oh, man, oh, man. Oh, where things could have gone had George not sold everything, sold his life's work. Alex Martinez, what's going on, bro? CA Production coming to another stream. Alan says, I've heard a lot about that. Irks me. Leave this life alone. No, seriously, don't change his life. If the fact is his Christianity, his faith was important to him, don't take that out. Why are you going to strip something that was a major part of the person's life? It would be like you taking any character and stripping a major portion of how that character's arc became to where it was. For example, it would be like taking Daenerys Targaryen and not explaining how she went crazy in 5 minutes because you had no actual buildup. It's almost just as good. Super Anime Gamer, what's going on, Super? Lead the Lightning, good morning. Good morning to you, good sir. Hope you had a nice rest over there in Australia. Mr. Sir, you're in the future. Rosetta Allen says, keep your head up. We love yammering with you. Well, Rosetta, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Asparcarthy says, what up, Sir Odin of the House Streets? Yes, indeed, of the Street Prophet House. That didn't even make any sense. Nostalgia Network says, I personally don't think Rian Johnson's trilogy will ever see the light of day. Your thoughts? I mentioned this in the video that I did earlier. Keep this in mind. What this has done, if you're new to this, what Lucasfilm has done, Bob Iger came out and confirmed that the next Star Wars movie we're going to get, the beginning of the next trilogy that starts in 2022 and ends in 2026, is going to be the trilogy headed by Benioff and Weiss, the Game of Thrones guys. And that begs the big question. Then what in the hell is going on with Rian Johnson? Because what you've just told us, because they already gave us their entire slate until 2027 or so, and at no point are there any other Star Wars films that are going to be spread throughout. And so that begs the question, are they going to actually wait to start the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy, if it even still exists at this point, and they're going to wait 7 years to do that? Or are there some things going on behind the scenes that they just don't want to tell us? Could it be Rian Johnson is no longer attached, that he is no longer a part of it, that his trilogy is no longer in the works? Could it be that they plan on having Rian Johnson stay on as a writer, as a producer, as an advisor to keep things going? I mean, obviously, I could see that. Based on what we've heard from various sources about how Rian Johnson is very well liked by people like Kathleen Kennedy, it seems likely that they would not just get rid of him completely, but possibly, maybe, just maybe, they would try and keep him on in some, honorary capacity. Now, whether or not he accepts it or not, that's going to be a giant question mark. But the fact now that there are now 7 more years until another Star Wars franchise can actually start in the theater, and because those 7 years are going to be, carried over by Benioff and Weiss, and we don't really know who's writing it. Are they writing it? Are they just directing it? Really, those details haven't been made that clear. And if all those things become very clear and they're just writing and they are also directing, they're writing and directing, then I think the story is going to be crap. Now, if they're just directing and if they have a really strong writer who's going to be the visionary, who's going to be the creative mind behind it, hey, the new series could be very good. But getting back to the main point, what does that mean for Rian Johnson? Is Rian Johnson's trilogy done? Are they actually going to wait 7 years, or is it just done? Is it kaput? Rosetta Allen says, Geeks and Gamers review, they said no mention of it yet and cut out all references to his friendship with Lewis. Oh my God, that frustrates me, Rosetta Allen. So yeah, for those that don't know, J.R. Tolkien was a very good friend to C.S. Lewis, who is known as one of the most prolific Christian writers. And I would dare to say that J.R.R. Tolkien is also a profound Christian writer. He may not be the one that's going to write as on-the-nose Christian works like C.S. Lewis. For example, oh my goodness, why am I blanking out on one of my favorite works from him with Wormtongue and Screw Tape? Sorry, the Screw Tape Letters. Screw Tape Letters are brilliant from especially a philosophical, theological approach to how we can be impacted by both the good and the bad in our life, obviously in this case within Christianity, in the realm of Christianity, by demonic presences and by the presences of light and how those things influence us. It's a brilliant work. I mean, it really starts to make you really think about your own life of faith and let you start to think about, are there certain things pulling me in certain directions or not? And to take that out of it and also to very much limit his Christian faith, which was key to his role. I mean, I'm sorry, if you do not see the fact that Gandalf the White is not a total metaphor for Jesus Christ and the Transfiguration, I don't know what else you could possibly have been watching. That makes me very sad that they cut those things out, because it is such a huge part of his character. It's like if you cut the heart out of a character and you say, all right, good luck. No, you don't just cut the heart out of a character and expect the character to still be able to walk. You kind of need the blood flow going to the brain. The Senate says, hello, sorry I'm late. I was watching John Wick 1 and 2 before John Wick 3. The Senate, if that is your reason for being late, you are forgiven. You are absolved of that sin because at the end of the day, John Wick 1 and John Wick 2 are fantastic films. And if you're doing it because you're preparing, just like I am, for Thursday when John Wick 3 finally drops, and guys, I said it earlier on the channel when talking about Halle Berry and how I don't really trust her because she has kind of been a part of various movies and franchises where she's kind of ruined them. I go back to Catwoman, just literally, obliterated that movie. I go back to her being in a James Bond film. Again, I think that she did a terrible job. I think that her Oscar win, very unwarranted. It was nothing impressive about the role that she did. That all being said, that is all taken back at this moment because of all of the behind-the-scenes footage that is now coming out of Halle Berry doing training for John Wick 3. This is not a woman who just said, I'm going to be the pretty face and let everyone else and all my stunt team do my stunts for me. She went out to the range, just like Keanu Reeves, learned how to shoot, learned how to aim, learned how to fight. It reminds me a lot of the Rosa Salazar fighting scenes that they kept showing us from Alita. Actual training, actual fight sequences, actually doing their own stunts. And it's pretty damn impressive. If you've never seen it yourself, it's on Twitter. It's probably on YouTube at this point. Halle Berry training John Wick 3. You will be very impressed by that. And if she's going to put that much effort into making sure that all of her scenes look crisp and look realistic and look believable, then you know what? Hey, I can let go of all the other problems and baggage that I have against her as an actress and say, hey, at least with this moment in time and with this movie, maybe this is exactly the moment, the movie, the group. Keanu, for all I know, is the person that maybe you've been needing your entire life to finally be able to try to just get it, to get into your niche and to understand how to be the best version of you. Because you know what? If we get that and it's a badass, just like with Keanu Reeves as John Wick, I will be totally down. Cannot freaking wait for that film. Again, 7 p.m. Dolby showing on Thursday. Already got my tickets for it, and I cannot wait. All right, Rosetta Allen says, I hated them bastardizing Wrinkle in Time. I was obsessed with that book series as a kid. My favorite book for years was A Swiftly Tilting Planet. The last book was about Noah. And again, I'm someone that never got into the Wrinkle in Time series. I read the first book when I was younger. I reread it again before seeing the movie just to kind of, get my head wrapped around those concepts again. And I will say, I was not a fan of it the second time around. I listened to the audiobook version, and the woman who was doing the audiobook, the voice that she had for Meg was the most annoying thing I've ever heard. Every time Meg spoke, I thought, oh my gosh, this character is so annoying. And because of that, I had no care for her. Anytime that she was supposed to be emotional, especially at the very end, when she's telling her brother, I love you, I love you, I love you, I was like, oh my gosh, just please shut the hell up. It was not very well done. But no, I think that one of the biggest reasons why A Wrinkle in Time failed so much was because of that. Because they decided to take out all of the key elements to the story, the key elements to the plot, the key elements to those character arcs, and decide just to say, oh, no, we're going to do things our own way, and guess what? It's just going to be total and utter crap, and guess what? It was total and utter crap, and I don't know why they continue to try and think they can do these things and still be able to get away with it. It does not make any sense, and yet they continue to do so, and it really is so very frustrating indeed to see all of this nonsense happen the way that it does. All right, the chat jumped on me as it always does, so let me just try and see if I'm able to find where I left off and therefore be able to pick up nice and smoothly. Notice how I'm trying to talk so that I can continue to go through this because, man, oh man, there are so many chats. This is insane. All right, anyway, Mirror Jeremy, hello to you, good sir. Soul Assassin says, hello, Odin. Glad to finally learn of the Alita Blu-ray release date. Yes, guys. So, because coming from the official Fox website, you know how most movies have an official website, and so according to this website, and this is brand new information because this has not been up on the website before, July 9th is when we're getting the digital HD release for Alita Battle Angel, and then on July 23rd, we're getting the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the DVD release. So, for those who have been waiting, mid to end July is when we'll finally have access to it. I do not yet at this point have any direct links for pre-orders because they are not yet available. But the fact that we even have dates from their site is already more than enough at this point. But yes, I'm so excited cannot wait to buy it on 4K. Let's see, Tina says, I had so looked forward to the Tolkien movie. Focus on the Family's review said his Catholicism was present, but didn't hit you over the head, so not sure. And again, Focus on the Family, though, from what I remember, is Focus on the Family a Catholic organization, or is it simply a Christian organization? Because maybe it's just that they were able to be more susceptible to Christian or Catholic undertones, and I'm not quite sure about that. Castro Hermosa, it's George's birthday, too. Exactly right. George Lucas. Micah D2 says, I am 100% Christian, and there's a war going on right now against us. Micah D2, I am right there with you, dude. It is absolutely something that is scary to look at, especially when you see how certain people are treated in this world versus how other people are treated in this world, and the reactions to both. I mean, I'm sorry, let's just be honest for a second. Let's be perfectly honest for a second. If you were to have same exact events, but only one group changes, if you were to have a group of Christians, a group of Jews, a group of Muslims, etc., being attacked, being destroyed, would people have differing opinions depending on what the religion was behind it? You guarantee they would. And I guarantee you that people would care less about the Christians being slaughtered than about the other two groups. Now, I will be fair to the Jewish people, because obviously the Jewish people have been attacked for centuries upon centuries of millennia at this point. However, it is, I think, a very sad state that we can't just look at people as people and not realize that just because of their religious affiliation, that they still are people nonetheless. But yeah, you're right. I'm right there with you. And you see that that battle is continuing to go on in our pop culture. Notice how very little you have any types of forms of Christianity or faith-based films actually being brought to the forefront. Yeah, you got Pure Flix, but Pure Flix is making, for the most part, I would say garbage, which is sad because they really could be doing so much more. And instead, we're just left in this state of, okay, so are we ever going to get films that are actually going to try and maybe look at these things from a differing perspective without being labeled hateful? All right, John Winkler says, my birthday is on July 11th, so if a gentleman with a fantastic beard got Alita as a present for me, that would be great. Oh, John Winkler. We'll see. Super says, I'm doing well, laughing my head off at literally everything. Everyone making fun of Game of Thrones and Bob Iger's a genius decision to confirm Dumb and Dumber's 2's trilogies today. Could you pick a worse time? No. Actually, yes, they could have picked the worst time. They could have picked the end of the season. They could have announced it at the end of the last episode, because even if the last episode, like by itself individually, is not worse than some of the other things that have been going on recently, I will say that I think that's going to be the moment when people say, oh, now it is all gone. Now it is done. There is no other episode to look forward to at this point, and therefore, if they were to announce it, people would be like, well, I have no interest in that. Stiggy V says, stay true, a simple saying, but lost on a lot of writers. Yeah, just stay true to yourself and to the characters. You do not have to change basic character arcs just because they don't fit your agenda, if it is a core part and a core element to that character. Rosetta Allen says, except even worse, because it is this case, it's rewriting actual history, not just myth or fiction. Exactly. When you're rewriting history to make a political point or a religious political point, it's not a good thing. Random Nerd says, they also left out the part Tolkien where it is known that J.R.R. was racist, which was normal for the time he grew up. Wait, they left that part out? Was he actually racist? Again, I'm not an expert on him, but that just seems like a very odd antidote. Mira Jeremy says, hey, I have an idea. Let's finally win something that I wanted to get my whole life just to burn it down to the ground 5 minutes later. Yeah, I know, seriously. Wouldn't that be great, right? Wouldn't that subvert expectations? Yeah, let's fight for and kill an entire army in 7 minutes, have the entire town, the entire city, the entire kingdom at my feet, cowering in fear, talking about that fear that she was saying, oh, I guess it'll be fear then, and eventually that leading to a psychotic break that has had no real development other than just maybe a couple of moments, and everyone's going to those moments saying, oh, but remember that time this happened, and remember time this happened? There's never been a consistently clear motivation that her character is going down the realms of madness. It has never been clearly established, and it's really frustrating that they were deciding to just jump the shark in that way and just do things without a complete misunderstanding of the character. Mary Mayhem says, have I mentioned I love your beard? Oh, well, Mary, thank you so much. Mary, thank you for that. I appreciate it. My beard also appreciates you as well. Cia Productions says, I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of stories suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I know, seriously, right? Soul Assassin says, Rian Johnson would make a great advisor. Just do the opposite of his plot ideas and you'll be fine. Now, you see, here's something that could possibly work if you were to have Rian Johnson, and let's just pick one of Dumb and Dumber. Let's pick Benioff. Why not Benioff? Have those two together, but you have someone that isn't Weiss, but is an actual legit writer. Timothy Zahn. Let's pick Timothy Zahn of the Thrawn trilogy fame. Let's have him write the screenplay. Let's have him be in charge 100% of the creative aspect of the actual trilogy from a story perspective. I honestly think Rian Johnson and Weiss would be able, or Benioff, or whichever one you want to choose, would be able to produce a pretty good product. But it's not because they came up with great ideas. It's going to be because Timothy Zahn had great ideas and they were able to simply adapt them. If there's one thing that those two, and I would say all three of those guys can do, direction is not one of their weaknesses. Look to seasons 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones. That shows you very clearly that Benioff and Weiss have been able to produce really great content before because they had good writing, because they had the writing of George R. R. Martin, who's a much stronger writer than they are. Rian Johnson has directed good films that he himself did not write. And so you see that happen. And that's why it's important for people, actors, directors, writers, to know their role, to know what they're good at, to know what they're bad at, and to try to stick to the things they are good at so that way they can continue to thrive. Random Nerd says, I think Disney sent Rian Johnson back in time to be taken out by his younger self. Yeah, just like in Looper. Tina says, well, that's all we need. Rian and his hyperdrive ramming and Dumb and Dumber incinerating cities with dragonfire. It should be good. Glad I'm out of Star Wars. Yep, a lot of people are out of Star Wars for sure. Drunk 3PO, what's going on? Drunk 3PO says, I believe if Rian Johnson gets his movies, it might go straight to the stream. Anyway, showing some love, my friend. Oh, I used a clip of yours for the intro, my last video. You will love it. Well, Drunk, please tag me in that. DM that to me on Twitter, dude. I would love to check that out. Thank you so much, guys. Go sub over to Drunk 3PO's channel. He's a very, very cool dude, rocking a blue snowball microphone. He's awesome. One of the nicest kids in town, and also the handsomest man on YouTube, as he is often called. But Drunk, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. It was fun talking to you, even just it was trolling in Josiah's stream yesterday. So I appreciate that, man. And yeah, no, I agree. I think that they would be smart to put anything they give Rian Johnson, they would be smart to put that onto the streaming service, because guess what? You don't have to worry about people not going to buy a ticket, because you're already going to have people that are going to be coming into the franchise by buying your streaming service. And so you're not going to know really how much money is being gone to, people. I'm sure they'll have inside sources about how many views each show is getting, but I'm telling you right now, they would pay much less per episode. They would pay much less overall for budget, and it would be a much smaller risk since they don't have to make deals with anybody. And I think that they would actually be able to make some decent money off of it in the long run, if he really is as good as they say. Because if he was, then he would have the next trilogy. Vladdy99 says, have you seen Queen Studios statues prop replicas? Looking forward to getting their 1-to-1 Alita bust. My Alita dream come true. Nice. No, I don't really tend to look into those types of things because I already got so many other things. I have so many things already in my house, and I really don't need much more of anything. But that sounds pretty damn cool. Alex McCarthy says, wishful thinking, Rian to be excommunicado from Star Wars. Yes, as long as we can have Ian McShane make an announcement. I want Ian McShane to be called up to make an announcement for the future of Disney Star Wars, just so that he can say the words, you are now excommunicado. The way that Ian McShane says that line in John Wick 2 is just damn near perfection. God, I need to rewatch. You know what? Now, someone was saying they were rewatching John Wick. I need to rewatch John Wick 1 and John Wick 2. God, maybe I'll have time. Maybe if I have time, possible movie night stream like tomorrow or something. I have to let you guys know. I don't know what my calendar is. I don't know how I'm going to feel. But if I have time to, would love to do like a John Wick 1 and maybe even a John Wick 2 stream. And if I can get away with it, I can make it a DLive exclusive stream, because apparently copyright isn't nearly as big of a thing over there, and DLive seems to kind of be on the downward turn as well. So maybe I just have the video itself playing in the small corner with a little bit of audio. Maybe. Well, these are ideas. God, John Wick is so good, though. Zinewater says, Tolkien converted Lewis to Christianity. They were best friends. They bounced ideas off of each other. Yes, exactly right. Again, C.S. Lewis, profound Christian writer. J.R.R. Tolkien, profound, probably one of the greatest writers of fantasy in general, if not one of the greatest writers. So it's just so sad that they were able to somehow take away that friendship. It just doesn't make any sense. Rosetta Allen says, actually, if you read some of the stuff they wrote about each other to the media, they were close friends and actually competed in who could reach out to people with faith in the best way. Yep, I didn't know that as a fact, but that sounds to me very much in line with what I know about J.R.R. Tolkien. I really honestly do think that C.S. Lewis were some of the most important writers. C.S. Lewis has meant so much to me over the years because of the tremendous amounts of work he's done in Christian literature. As a Catholic who went through those times, the struggles of faith, and to read some of his works, especially the Screwtape Letters. If you've never read Screwtape, please do yourself a favor and do it. It is basically having a demon writing letters to another demon about how to corrupt the soul, and it's very enlightening as to how our souls become corrupt. And again, even if you don't have supernatural faith, just to know that there are certain elements that can take hold of the human person and just cause this collapse or this decaying of it. It's beautiful. It really is. And absolutely, I think that is something that should have been mentioned. And unfortunately, it sounds like it wasn't. So again, I still kind of want to see it just to make up my own mind. But man, oh man, it really is sad. John Winkler says, did you ever read The Chronicles of Narnia by Lewis? I think I read the book when I was younger, but the only thing I really remember much from that series was the actual animated movie. I don't know if you remember the animated movie that came out, and it was awesome. And it was only Chronicles of Narnia. It didn't really go into the other stories like Prince Caspian and the others, but I thoroughly enjoyed the animated movie back from, I guess it must have been the 80s or 90s, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 80s or 90s. Live action stuff, not nearly as impressive to me, especially the more recent stuff. Micah D2, thank you so much, Micah D2. And he says, just had to one-up a drunk 3PO by 1 cent. Damn right, good sir. That's awesome. And also, Micah D2, thank you for the previous super chat. And you said, hi back, Odin, and don't fry me tonight. Please, I will do the very best that I can, Micah, to not fry you tonight, man. You're good people. And seriously, thank you for those super chats. I really do appreciate it. Lou, sweet Lou, how's it going, bruv? And my D-Live people, I've got my D-Live people up. And again, as I said before, keep talking amongst yourselves. That's going to be the way that we do it going forward. Talk amongst yourselves, build up that chest. Again, build up that chest. I'm probably going to actually put in some, you know what, actually, let me go ahead and do that now. Let me do that now. Boom. All right, I have to sign in. Continue. All right. Because why the heck not? Boom. All right, there we go. So there you go, 54 in the chest. And so basically throughout the night, y'all keep getting active. The more active you are in the chats, the more that the chest will be able to fill up over time as well. And I'll see what it is at the end of the night, and then I'll try and put in some more too. So depending on how much for donations and such we get, that'll determine how much I put into it at the very end. So again, I'm going to do whatever I... What are you doing? Dude, I mean, at this point in time, with D-Live being broken and with you guys still supporting me over on D-Live, I want to take care of you guys. All right, because not even all of you are guaranteed to get anything from it, but if I can at least help some of you and get some of you some of that sweet, sweet lino that you so readily deserve, I'm going to do the very best that I can. So, again, I'm going to keep an eye on it tonight, and so let me just shout out some people who have been in here for a while. Will Gentry, thank you for the follow. Obi-Wan27883, thank you for the ice cream. Wesnat, thank you so much for the ice cream. Also, Bad Hammy, thank you for the 2 lemon donation. Appreciate that. Heil Honkler14, great name. Thank you very much for the follow. And I see my people in there. Kim Can Park, the K-Man, Poppyton, Over Easy Mode, Dion, Mr. Peabody as well. Let me see. Over Easy Mode, NLTO. Brad the mod is in there also. Let's see. Dion Force Bear. Forrest Bear, Obi-Wan. I think I got all of them. Poppy Den, thank you for the lemon as well. Bot, thank you so much, Bot, for being here also. Force Bear, I think I got them. Electro, Boom, Brad Beer Hunter, awesome. Got all you guys. Perfect. And again, I'm going to keep an eye on it for anytime anyone of y'all donates, and then I'm going to try and build up the chest myself as the night goes on. Anyway, Tina. Let's see. Tina says, I thankfully had a chance to visit Eagle and Child in Oxfordshire, where Lewis and Tolkien used to meet, because I don't know if I'll ever return to England. That is awesome. I'm very jealous of that. I would love to be able to see the area that these two great minds, not just Christian minds, but great literary minds, were able to do these things. Grandmaster Yoda says, if James is so in love with Disney that he gives them Avatar, I fear for Alita. If they make Alita a woke IP, I think I give up all hope for good movies. I'm right there with you, Gran, because some people are trying to say, like, oh, but he still owns the rights. But he's also now just confirmed by the fact that Disney has confirmed it, that what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up having all 5 Avatar films already in the Disney slate, meaning that they've been confirmed. And so what that tells me is that James Cameron obviously has a lot of trust in Disney to be able to distribute the film. And if he's this compassionate, or rather this passionate about supporting Disney with his baby, which is Avatar, then how much more so will he be able to do so, and how much more love will he show them with other projects like Alita? And that's the reason why now more than ever, because of that process, because of that mind point I just came up with, mind point, what the hell am I talking about? I think that now more than ever, if we do get an Alita sequel, it is going to sadly be more likely than not a series on the streaming network, which I think would be a grave disservice to that show and to the rich story and the rich concepts of those characters, and also to the effects and the amazing things they were able to do in that first film. Erica Gaming says, did you notice that Daisy really looks bloated in The Last Jedi? She looks like her normal self in the episode 9 trailer. I did not notice that at all, so I could not speak to it. I tend not to worry about those things. Super says, Tolkien is definitely a prolific Christian writer. Based on what I read in his youth, Lewis was an atheist, but Tolkien convinced him to return to the faith. Oh no, there's no doubt in my mind that Tolkien is a devout Christian. But I would say that you could easily point to the fact that C.S. Lewis is not just known for his fantasy work. He's not just known for his narratives. He's also known for his legit Christian writings. And that's why I distinguish the two. Because I'm definitely on board saying that both he and Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were profound Christian thinkers. But when it comes to Christian writers, if I had to put one over the other as far as talking specifically about the writings and works specifically on Christianity, I would have to say, and I would have to give that to, in the end, to C.S. Lewis, because of how he has very specific works that are dedicated to Christianity. Cas Hermosa says, planning to watch John Wick 3 later, so excited for Keanu, but you think this will be a trilogy only? I thought that it was, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a trilogy, but that there was going to be a spin-off. Now, I thought that, okay, John Wick's story will be done, but the world that was built will continue. Now, whether or not Keanu Reeves comes back as John Wick, I think that could be an interesting thing to see. But based on these early reactions, based on the early indications, it seems that the ending of the film leaves open a chance and a possibility for everything to continue. Now, whether that means John Wick or whether that just means the universe that has been built in the John Wick world, I'm not sure. But man, even if at this point, if John Wick 3 is as good as I think it will be, and if it's as good as the audiences and critics that are seeing it early are seeming to indicate that it's going to be, I don't see them having a reason to stop. And as long as they keep giving the fans what they want, they could go on for as long as they really need to. They're not rushing them. They're taking like a couple of years at least between shots. They're obviously taking real life training going on by the very fact Halle Berry, Keanu Reeves, look at them up. Look up the videos of them training. They're on a gun range. Hey, Willa, River, no, River. Can't have that right now, River, please. But you see them going out and actually receiving this training. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know. Sorry. So their mom came in for a second and then left because and my little dog River has separation anxiety, and it really is sad. But all the training that they actually are going through, it just looks so badass. Whenever you see actors doing the things that are actually being done on screen and not utilizing or overutilizing stunt teams, looking at you, Brie Larson, you really could learn a lot. It just is awesome. Rosetta Allen says, I was watching her training, wicked badass. It was so badass. And this is something from someone who has been a huge critic of Halle Berry, but to see her doing that has now increased my respect 1,000-fold. 1,000-fold. Sasha Neon says, so they couldn't afford wolf hugs and lightning, but did buy one Starbucks too many. With these messed up priorities, will anyone watch Game of Thrones after Sunday? So obviously Sunday is the end, and the biggest question to me is how many people, or rather how few people, are going to actually listen to, or rather watch, any future Game of Thrones content, the prequel series, anything Benioff and Weiss do. Those are the big questions that I have, because I do think if they end the way that many people think, because the rumors and leaks are out there, and these leaks have been pretty much confirmed, seeing that the same places that we are finding the leaks for this last episode have already been right about previous episodes. This is going to split the fan base even more so. And it basically, in my mind, confirms that you're going to have a lot less people buying Blu-rays and DVDs. Hey, River, calm down. What are you crying about? I know. Tech Guy says, are you gonna blow air out your nose, lower your eyebrows, and become the mad critic in one live stream because we rang the bell next to subscribe? Yes, I need to become the mad critic for no reason. So give me 5 minutes, okay? I'm not going to give you any actual character arc or any actual development, but yeah, I'll start hearing a bell and then I'll go crazy. John Winkler says, I love John Wick, but I really didn't like John Wick Chapter 2. Boom, get out of here. John Wick 2 was so damn good. And the reason why was because not only did you continue to have great John Wick action sequences with Keanu Reeves, you also got something very important, better storytelling. The world that they build in John Wick Chapter 2 is so brilliant that not only are we getting John Wick 3, they also are developing a series called The Continental, dealing specifically with the hotel chain that holds on to and is sacred ground for hitmen across the world. I'm sorry, that is amazing. That is so cool. And John Wick 2 is what helps to expand upon that universe, and I cannot wait. Seriously, John Wick is my favorite franchise currently running right now. My favorite current modern franchise as far as movies go, gotta go with John Wick. Keep in mind, my favorite movies of previous years, Infinity War was not my favorite film of last year. It was not my most anticipated film of last year. It was John Wick. Fun fact. The Senate says, I hope Chapter 3 is good since the last two are amazing. Can't wait for your review on it. I can't wait to go. So I'm already planning. I'm going to have my vlog camera with me. I'm going to show like the vlog as we're going to the theater, trying to see, hopefully praying that there's going to be a crazy crowd of people there as well. That would be freaking fantastic. And again, I'm going to be covering all of that whenever I can. All right, heading over to some super chats real quick. I've been getting a few of them as I've been going through it. But I do want to make sure that I'm able to get all of them as I possibly can. All right, so Micah D2 I got, Drunk 3PO, Micah D2, Tech Guy I just got, Bruce Lombardo. Bruce Lombardo, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, you are paralleling my disdain for Disney. They rewrote my favorite universe. Zahn should have been the script writer. Zahn has great material ready. Bruce, you're exactly right. If they wanted to do Star Wars right, they would get him on because he knows how to write Star Wars. He knows how to write the characters and to build a universe. And if he's the writer and you've got solid directors that can adapt that material, and to their defense, I would say Weiss and Benioff, they're good at adapting material that is not theirs, that they do not have a direct impact on. And I would say that that's the best way you move forward. That is going to be the best version of Star Wars you could get with that combination of people. And then Bruce says, did anyone hear of the Blood Pens with Stan Lee? I have not heard of this. Lou says, thank you for the super chat. Lou says, yo, Odin, how's the house hunt going, mate? It's going about as well as can be. Megajetty1, thank you for the super chat, says, my Alita vid is still my most viewed, 285. More, please. Go check out Megajetty1. Good people. And yeah, Alita is just so damn good. And there are so many people that love Alita Battle Angel, and for good reason too. Let's see. That tad shouldn't be. That tad that shouldn't be. That ad that shouldn't be. I don't know. But thank you for the $10 super chat. And this person says, Tolkien was not racist. Based on his life experiences in war, one of the themes of Lord of the Rings was how racist concepts led to strife plus war. The Woken Brigade don't have IQ to understand anything Tolkien wrote. So, if I'm getting this correctly, Tolkien never actually made racist remarks or comments, but rather this woke brigade, again, the SJWs, have now read into his work and said, oh, there's this underlying sense of racism in there. Isn't this the same group that said that the orcs were racist? That there were, because there was so much hatred and disdain towards one fantasy race, that's right, a fantasy made up race of people, and that is the reason. God, man, these people are so stupid. God. But anyway, the tad that shouldn't be, I think that's what you're trying to say. Thank you for the super chat. And no, you're absolutely right there. And that makes total sense. These are idiots. These are idiots that would much rather go after a man's work long after he's dead than make up their own original material because they suck. And they have no creative bone in their body. Rosetta Allen says, I am a speed reading nut. I'm not Catholic, but proudly Christian, and Screwtape and Narnia played a huge part in my childhood. It was amazing. And again, I've heard great things about both. I've read a little bit of Screwtape, which is fantastic. And also, I've read a little bit of Narnia. I do love the original cartoon, though. Stephanie B. What's going on, Stephanie B? Welcome to the show. Slicer says, are we allowed to mention a certain excommunicated, white, straight, non-bearded Christian male in the chat? You mean the one that's been excommunicado? He's been excommunicado, and we all know what it means to be excommunicado. He must die. Rosetta Allen says the best book in the series was The Magician's Nephew. It was all about creation and the birth of Narnia and the falling of man and the curse of Eden. And yet, I'm not surprised they didn't eventually adapt it because that would be way too crazy. Blake Hemlow says, I'm having a great time this evening, and everyone in chat is having a good time too. Glad to hear it, Blake. And it's always a fun time, and I hope it's always a fun time for you guys. Y'all seem to enjoy it. Gas Hermosa says, Game of Thrones and then Star Wars, can't wait for D&D to ruin it. And as I said before, again, in retrospect, if they were given a good writer, if they hire a good, solid writer who has full creative control, I think Benioff and Weiss could probably give us a good Star Wars film. But if they're the ones that are going to be the creative heads behind it, whether they directly write the script or not, if they are the creative minds and the executive producers behind it, that is when my concern will be fully realized, because it means that it's going to be their stupid ideas that are going to be pushed to the forefront. It's their stupid ideas that they're going to make other writers try to integrate into their stories, and that, to me, is where the problems will arise. If they're just directing, I think it would be okay, but that's a big if. Random Nerd, is it possible for Fox to make enough money from Fox News, then use it to buy 20 No. I don't know if you were just joking there. Fox is done. That one's never being bought back. Not for a wide variety of reasons. One huge reason being that Disney's never going to sell it because their property is too valuable. The property that they acquired, though not all of it, certain aspects to it are far too valuable for them. Keep in mind, they've got the next 5 years of the MCU planned out, and they're going to make millions from it. I think that if they go woke, it's going to be less than what they expect. But let's say it goes woke, they screw up, guess what they do in 5 years? Reset button, now we introduce the X-Men. I mean, again, they've got so many characters now. They've got so much content that they can start to create because they own all of the rights to these characters. And I think that that is where we're going to see the biggest impact in the future of the MCU. Let's see. Sasha Neon says, sounds like your chest is well endowed. It is. If you're over on DLive, you know exactly what we're talking about. The Senate says, no more Avatar. Hey, I'm right there with you, the Senate. I don't want any more Avatar either, but we are stuck until, 2026 or so. Rosetta Allen says, just remind me the Indian check says down with Avatar. Exactly right. The one who actually has Indian heritage does not like Avatar because of a wide variety of very real personal problems from a level of her being, again, of a tribe. Sticky V says, I don't think Odin watches Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Still great season opener. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a great first season. I really liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, but every season after it kept going downhill, and then I heard it went off a cliff. So I'm kind of glad I stopped watching it when I did. Beats of Angel says, I don't think Alita will be a series yet. The movie was a planned trilogy, and if they wanted to make a TV series, they can make it with the sequel mangas. Here's the thing, Beats of Angels. Because we now know that James Cameron has indeed committed all 5 of his Avatar films to Disney, and that means that Disney, being in charge of distribution, is going to be spending millions upon millions of dollars on it. I think what James Cameron did was he worked out a deal with Disney so that he can get as much money as possible to make these films, and then he agreed that any other projects that he had the rights to or was going to work on, that those would be done in whatever way Disney wanted. And so if Disney wants to continue the Alita story, it might not be for another few years, and it might end up being on the streaming service. Not because that's how he wants that to end, but because he cares more about his Avatar quintology, whatever it is going to be called, the 5-film Avatar nonsense garbage. He cares more about that. And I think that he's going to do whatever he can to protect those films, protect those release dates, protect the budgets going into those movies, so that anything else that he's passionate about will fall by the wayside. And that's why, unfortunately, I think there's a higher chance we get a series from Alita rather than another movie, which is really sad. Random Nerve says, since you are the All-Father, why not use your Odin powers and turn the SJWs into goblins, and then your sons, Thor and Loki, will kick their butts? We're not quite there yet. Slawsat says, I didn't know Tolkien was a Christian writer. I thought he got his inspiration from serving World War I. He got it. Both are true, Soul. He got inspiration from it, and you can see so much of it in The Lord of the Rings. I mean, this is a man that obviously lost loved ones, lost friends in battle, saw the horrors of war, and he was able to adapt that and bring it into a beautiful new fantasy realm that still, to this day, people get lost into. There are people to this day that for the first time in their life are watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy. They're watching the extended edition Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they're figuring out for themselves that this man's vision was truly beyond time itself. It is a timeless work that's always going to remain relevant. There's never going to be a time in which Lord of the Rings is no longer a part of everyday discussion, especially when it comes to movies and to movie history. And it all stems from the fact he was very much inspired in so many ways by so many different things, including, and not limited to, his faith and also, of course, his own experiences in war as well. Blake Hemlow, what if John Wick fought Batman? Who would win? John Wick. Easily John Wick. Are you kidding me? Super says, oh yeah, I would agree on Tolkien and Lewis. Worded my comment wrong. I think the one thing that really limits Tolkien's work on his opposition to allegory. Looks like Lewis embraced it. No, that's a good point. Lewis very much embraces allegory. Tolkien maybe not as much, but I think that's the reason why they're both great together. In fact, I would love to see a combo work. I would love to see someone put together a compilation of works. Maybe like a back to four. Like, could you imagine if someone, and maybe Tolkien's son or someone associated with the Tolkien estate can do this? It would be so cool to see a new book, and what it is it's like a chapter versus a chapter of all the various works from C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, and it's basically showing how different they were at conveying similar information. Because I bet you can dive through the pages of those works and see that they're talking about very similar things, but one is using them in terms of allegory, while the other is using them in terms of fantastical fantasy writing instead. And I think that would be extremely interesting to see. Let's see. Random Nerd says, I think Thanos should fire Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Oh, man, that would be so nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? It would be so nice. All right, so trying to get caught up with the chats. Holy crap, this chat is so far behind right now. This is insane. Yeah, I probably would have missed some chats there for sure. Asper Godley says, River's still upset about episode 5. Damn right she is. Damn right she is. She is so upset about episode 5 of Game of Thrones. Lou, there's a John Wick comic too. If I was in the comics, man, I would be all over that. John Winkler says, oh, Odin, you are fanboying so hard. I am a giant fanboy with John Wick, man. You have no idea. When I saw that first movie, I was like, oh, God, yes. Super says, I know I probably won't watch the prequels. HBO let D&D do this. Why risk falling in love with another cast, just another showrunners to get bored and screw it up? As I said, when it comes to the announced prequel, the Game of Thrones prequel they have planned, if they have the right writers and a good cast, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm totally willing to give it a shot, but there are a lot of things that need to be very clear and a lot of things that need to be true before that happens. Sideshow Neon says, all the death in Game of Thrones series, but did anyone expect them to kill an entire final season? It admittedly takes a lot of guts, but very little brain cells to pull a stunt like that. I mean, yeah, it's a bold move, Cotton. I wonder how it pays out for them, and I think that this one obviously is not going to pay out very well. Bear Nerd Fun. Hello, Bear Nerd Fun. The Senate says, I just finished John Wick 1. Again, it's a simple story, but a damn good one. Yep, and episode 2 takes that simple concept and turns it into an even better one. Castor Mosa says, your favorite book in the Lord of the Rings series? Fellowship. Love me. The book, Fellowship, movie, Two Towers. I mean, I'm sorry, so sorry. How can you not love anything that has the Battle of Helm's Deep? The Battle of Helm's Deep is one of the greatest battle sequences of all time in any movie. And again, so Two Towers for sure. Random Nerd, since you are a Catholic, are you forbidden from reading Spawn, Hellboy, Ghost Rider since they are demons from hell? No, definitely not forbidden from reading anything. There are no books on any list for Catholics that we can't read. It doesn't work that way. But more so, it has to be, we must understand the material that we're about to read and to experience it as it should be. And if we can't do that, then we should avoid it. That's how it works. Super says, the only prequel I was interested in was the one they promised to Game of Thrones veteran Brian Cogman, and they canceled it. Only way I'll watch it is reviews are good to the very end. Yeah, exactly. Solid reviews, great cast, great creative team behind it. Rosetta Allen says, the orcs were not even a symbol of any race. They were emblems of demons on Earth. I know. And yet, look it up for yourselves. There is an article that came out, last year, Steph? I think that we were talking about, me, Tina, and Steph were talking about this when it was coming out at the time, where they go into how the story of the orcs shows deep-seated racism. Yep. Tina, yes, exactly. Urukai lives matter. All right, D-Live people, I'm so sorry that I've not been as active, but you guys know I explained it to you. I'm going to add some more to the chest in a second. Let's see, Bot, thank you for the lemon. Appreciate it. Wonder Girl 60s, thank you very much for the lemon. Darwin James WR, thank you for the follow. Captain F, thank you for the lemon. Murad Kahafaf, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that very much. Live or Die Hard, thank you for the lemon. The K-Man, thank you for the lemon as well. Dion, thank you for the 2 lemons also. Thank you for the 2 lemons, and let me go ahead and how much do I have? How much do I have to give away? Can I do that? Oh, wait. Oh, my bad. I clicked the wrong button. I clicked the wrong button. I did. I clicked the wrong button. Claim it. Claim it. Claim. Claim it. Claim now. Claim now. If the little button pops up, claim it. I'm so sorry. I clicked the wrong button. So it's about to give y'all crypto, but don't worry. I'll take care of it in a second. All right. So very sorry. All right. Congratulations, guys. So Peabody got 16, Brad 9, Poppyton 7, Forrest Bear 6, Dion 5. All right. So. So very sorry about that. So very sorry. I clicked the wrong button. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to add more. Oh, let's build it up again. All right, there you go. Boom, 50. 50 has been added. There we go. All right, it's been added again. So sorry. So very sorry indeed. Oh man! All right, so go ahead back over to my YouTube peeps. Sia Production says these SJWs are the same people who said To Kill a Mockingbird, a book that speaks against racism, who also sued the author claiming the book is racist. Exactly. They want to take away any understanding, any sense of history. We're not saying that the words used in To Kill a Mockingbird are good. But it is good that students recognize that that is how people for a long time spoke. If you shelter them from the realities of our history, we are doomed to repeat it. Rosetta Allen says, to the ones bad-mouthing To Kill a Mockingbird, they can suck it. Another part of my literary childhood. No, seriously, great book. Excellent book. Fantastic film, mind you also. Zinewater says, I just like The Magician's Nephew because of the expansion of setting with the integration of the world between worlds and the dark nature of the destruction of Charn. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've never read that one myself, and so that would definitely be one that I would be interested in. Let us see. Rosetta Allen says yes to what Zine said. The book is incredible in its symbolism. Please, Zine, if you can, send that over my way because I'm going to forget about it. I would love to read a little bit. Maybe there's an audiobook that I can listen to. Stinky V says the future is a team-up movie between characters of the franchise Disney movies owns. It will be a horror. Good God. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. John Wiggler says, I prefer self-contained stories as why I like John Wick 1. It's also why Star Wars is better than Empire. Okay, John, yes. So basically that's a preferential thing, and that's why I love Empire more so than the first Star Wars, even though Star Wars to me is also great. Return is definitely the weakest of them all. But yeah, I love John Wick 1 and 2. I might like John Wick 2 better, only because, one, there's no dog that gets killed, and that hurts and breaks my heart every time. But also, there's just as much, if not more action, and the action is even cooler. But also, the story is better. Like, the story and the world that is being built is just very, very well done. So that's probably why I like that one better. Lou says, what about Legend of Aang? It's getting a live-action show. Really? Is this the... Lou, because is this the show that was being announced that there was going to be a third Star Wars show that was going to be added? Are you trying to say that, do you think that Rian Johnson's going to get that thing? I really hope not. Tell me more, Lou. Tell me more. Rosetta Allen says, I agree. I can't get into the later seasons of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, eventually I came to the point where I'm like, I don't really care anymore. Grandmaster Yoda says, the only way to save Hollywood now is to buy Disney itself. So if you have $96 billion, go for it. And even if you have the money, it doesn't mean that they're going to sell it to you either. Seriously. Zinewater says, like most shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stopped being good after its third season, when its original story direction ended. Yep, that's what I've been hearing. That's the common thing heard. See, the Tad that shouldn't be, says, the orc, thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you for the other super chat. I really do appreciate it. It says, the orcs were not symbols of demons. The orcs created thousands of years ago when Morgoth and Sauron corrupted elves to make a slave race. Very good point. It's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, obviously, they don't really convey nearly as much information about the orcs in the movies. The books obviously go into much more detail, but I always forget the rich history of the orcs themselves. And yeah, basically, yeah, they are essentially a creation. They are a creation. There is like almost like a mixed breed of sorts. Hail to you, good sap. Beats of Angel says he will protect it. Just remember, he won't be directing it. So as a producer and writer, he doesn't have to focus all his effort on it. At the end, it's still speculation. And again, I honestly understand where you're coming from with this, but to me, I think because he's probably getting everything he has asked from Disney to make his Avatar films, and so if they want to do anything with Alita, I think he will follow through as long as it confirms and makes clear he can do whatever he wants with Avatar. I think that's the trade-off, and that's not just with Alita. I think that's with any other project that he might be interested in. Grandmaster Yoda says, make Alita to a series is dumb idea because you will never get close to the level of CGI to be so good to send it on TV. It will be a huge downhill. I definitely agree to a point. I think that you could spend enough to make the CGI as good. However, it would mean that your episodes would cost so much. The question would be asked, how are we justifying spending this much on a TV show that is only ever really going to get more subscriptions and not anything else? I mean, it really does just add that question of, is it really worth it then at that point? Is it really worth it then at that point? Gosh, it's so far behind. Grandmaster Yoda says, the only way to save Hollywood now... Okay, I got that one. All right, so I'm slowly making my way back. Slowly making the way back, indeed. Orange Hat Reviews. What's going on, Orange Hat Reviews? Dan Maloney. Much of Middle Earth was inspired from the Bible. The Ents are a great example. Great point. Great point. So much rich symbolism. Zena says, it's 6:49 p.m. Central Standard Time. When you read this, it is now 6:59, so I am 10 minutes behind. I'm officially 10 minutes behind, but I'm making way. Super says, I blame D&D for Game of Thrones problems, but I get why they happened. They've never really written before. If I was offered Star Wars, I'd do it too, but if they don't learn and get help, they're crazy. They totally need help. If they can get help on their Star Wars trilogy, it could be fine. If they can get solid writers and they stick solely to direction, forming scenes, working with the actors, I think it'll be great. I don't think anyone's going to deny that the acting that we've seen this season has been perfect. That that some of the scenes, as far as like how they're crafted with the different people, the characters, and all the other background stuff, were not well done. I think all of us can say, hey, you know what? No, we can say when good things are good, but when your story is so bad, those things really don't matter nearly as much. So that's why it becomes a major problem. Rosetta Allen says, were you bothered by removing Tom Bombadil as I was in the first movie? Yes and no. I would have been nice to have seen Tom Bombadil for sure because of his character arc in the books. But, I mean, I know that sometimes you need to sacrifice certain elements of a story. Otherwise, it's going to be, 1,000 hours. Which, why for me, I think Lord of the Rings would work best as a series, which is why I have very high hopes for the Amazon series. Because if Amazon can do it right, then it could be one of the greatest series of all time. But anyway, let me go ahead and give some shout outs to some people over on DLive. Dion, thank you for the lemon. Poppyton, thank you for the lemon. Patrick Maduff, thank you for the 2 lemons. Forrest Bear, thank you for the lemon as well. Hope y'all enjoy the refill of the chest. Faiteor, thank you very much for the follow. Brad Beer Hunter, thank you for the ice cream. Obi-Wan, thank you so much for the ice cream as well. Obi-Wan can't claim the chest at all. So Obi-Wan, the way the new chest works is that you do not get free crypto anymore. And so as the chest builds up, I'm the one that decides when the chest gets emptied, and then it's basically random. I think the more you're active in the chat, like actual typing stuff, not through GIFs or anything, I don't think GIFs count, but the more you're active in the chat, the higher your luck gets, and if you have higher luck, then it allows you a better chance when you claim it. So when I click that button, you have to click on the claim button in order to be eligible to receive any cryptocurrency. I know, I don't like this system at all either. I've been very critical of it, and I'm starting to learn a little bit more about it and also about other alternatives that might exist out there, but obviously I'm not quite yet ready to add another service on, good Lord. But no, seriously, thank y'all over my DLive peeps. Thank you so much for being so patient with this all, and I'm going to try and take care of y'all as best as I possibly can. Poppyton, thank you so much for the ice cream as well, and Negro21, thank you very much for that, and D-Man1738, I saw that. Shout me out on my YouTube channel, D-Man1738. You've been shouted out, good sir. All right, back over to my YouTube peeps. Zinewater says, I cannot love a movie with the Battle of the Hornburg, the actual name of the battle, because they inexplicably added elves to the fight and changed the Ents. All right, that's a good point. John Winkler says, that's the right answer. Helm's Deep is the best battle on screen. I still like Return of the King best, though. Return of the King is great, but Helm's Deep is better. Tina says, we did talk about that, about orcs being considered racist. We did, and we could not believe that someone had actually written that type of stupidity. Rosetta Allen says, is it not incredibly racist for them to think marauding, mass-killing monsters symbolize minorities? Ooh. Oh, calling them out. Rosetta calling the shills out. CT says, did you know there is also Lord of the Rings, the Lego game? I did not. That sounds like fun. I wish I was a gamer. I wish I had time to game too. Cia Production says, the Force is with you, young Skywalker, but you are not a Suri yet. Yes, indeed. I need to embrace the Suri much more in my life. So sorry. Oh, so very sorry. Alex McCarthy says, here's one for you. John Wick versus Ethan Hunt. John Wick. It's not even a question. John Wick is going to win almost every time. The Senate says, if you could have Keanu Reeves play anyone in the MCU or Marvel Comics, who would you pick? People on the internet said he would make good Wolverine. I think that too. I don't know about Wolverine. I just don't know if he's the type of actor that could pull that role off. I mean, for all I know, he could. If I had to pick anyone in the MCU for him to pick, though, Lord. I'm not going to come up with a brilliant answer to this, but I would just love to see him play Captain America. With the long hair and the beard, and just to hear him go, whoa. Oh, I would love it. And then guess what? Okay. And then Guess who you have come in to play Winter Soldier? Alex Winter. You get Alex Winter to come in to play this Winter Soldier, and then you have it play out that Bill and Ted have now entered into the MCU. That is how you save the MCU. You have that crossover happen. They can travel through time. It's been established now that time travel is a part of the MCU and that there's a multiverse. And so with all of these things and factors, with having multiverses, you can now, without any shadow of a doubt, with very little criticism, say it is not totally out of the realm of possibility that Bill and Ted 4 could potentially happen in the MCU. I'm just saying. Just saying, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm going to be like one of those late night hosts. Oh, prove me wrong, huh? You want any facts? Use the facts to back it up, huh? Sorry. John Early says, if you were Superman in the theoretical reality, would you be attracted to the Lois Lane, personality quirks and all? I couldn't put myself in that position, but Lois Lane seems like a very, very nice young woman. Random Head of Doom says, would you worry if time travel is invented one day and SJWs try to go back in time? And woke history. The SJWs go back in time and try to beat up Christopher Columbus. Here's the thing. They would do that, and then they would screw up most of modern civilization because they focus on the bad things these guys do instead of focusing on some of the really important things that they did. And, God, let's not have time travel ever come into being in the real world. That would just cause so many issues, especially since this nonsense of, oh, yeah, if you go back in time and change something, it becomes your new future, and it has no impact on the timeline, but it does only in this rare circumstance with Captain America. Gosh, so the more, have y'all been seeing this, guys? They continue to talk about time travel and trying to explain how it all makes sense, and every single time these idiots speak, they make the movie more confusing. It's gotten to the point now where I think IO9 or one of those shill sites came out and basically said, please stop talking about the movie because you're making things worse. And to me, it just shows you clearly they have no idea what the hell they're doing. And they have no idea what the hell they were trying to do in the first place. Casa Hermosa says, good morning here. Can't wait to watch the epic colossal finale of Game of Thrones. Bring it on. Hey, man, I'm going to have my popcorn ready. I'm going to be ready to laugh my ass off, and it'll be so happy just to have the whole damn thing over. You know, I was so much in that point where I'd never want the series to end. Game of Thrones has been one of the greatest series, seriously, as far as like quality goes. Obviously, it's a very special connection because me and my wife watch it together, and we've watched it together for a very long time. But I will say this much. I don't think I've ever gotten to the point or ever thought I would get to the point where I could not wait for this series to end. Because, oh man, it's just going to be a dumpster fire. Rosetta Allen says, now with a strange side note, what do you think of the novels for Star Wars, and how many of them have you read? Please know my avatar is for me done up as a Night Sister Sith Lord Queen. Okay, I gotcha. That's very cool. So for me, I have read the Thrawn trilogy, the classic Thrawn trilogy. I've also read Outbound Flight and the Thrawn duology, of which I am more than halfway through the second book in the Thrawn duology. There are many other books on my radar that I really want to read, including the newer Zahn stuff, the newer Thrawn stuff specifically, and I will let you guys know if I'm ever caught up on those things. Tina says, I know one thing, they'd better not put the Orville on their Plus channel or I will lose it. Someone hinted they might. There is no need to. High note, the budget may have gone up. Really hope the budget went up because they sure as heck are using what they have. Good Lord, if they have even more, the production value getting better will just make the show look even more fantastic. But yeah, be ready for it. I mean, Hulu is an option. Again, keep in mind, they have just announced you're going to have Ghost Rider original series on Hulu. Disney owns the vast majority of Hulu, so I could see them trying to try out some of the more mature stuff on Hulu, and since the Orville's already showing up on Hulu in the first place, it wouldn't surprise me if they try to go in that direction. Sticky V says, when will you start dumping on YouTube? They deserve it more and more. Dude, I really want to dump on YouTube. If you mean like to leave them, if I could leave YouTube tomorrow, I would. The problem is that any alternative space isn't up to par yet. Just isn't able to offer the same types of features. Even though the features that YouTube is supposed to offer and I'm thinking of are mostly broken, it's just not the same. You know, I tried uploading. I'm on BitChute. Again, I do have videos up on BitChute, but it's so confusing. I just haven't had time to really be able to dive in. I'm hoping once summer hits, again, I keep saying when summer hits, everything changes. But I really do hope when summer hits, there's going to be 7 more hours of the day that I'm not going to be in a classroom and that I'm going to be able to dedicate to other things. You know, obviously I'm going to have to dedicate that time wisely because we're going to have to start trying to get the house sold, pack things up, get all the stuff going on here before we eventually move to Tennessee, and all that stuff still needs to happen. But what I'm hoping, though, is that because I have that much more free time, I have more abilities to do streams. I would love to do some early morning streams because no one really streams in the morning. I would love to do some early morning streams during the week. That would be really awesome. And obviously my Valkyries do not have to worry about being present for those, especially since we seem to have getting some pretty good traction with some mods. And I you know, if it ever came to the point where you guys just couldn't be around, I could easily just give some mod powers to people who could be here. You'll still be the Valkyrie, and I would still try and continue to do my normal evening shows, but it would allow me to be able to stream more. But also it would allow me to be able to try out other services and not just play around with DLive like I have been doing. Obi-Wan, thank you so much for that ice cream, man. I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. So I would love to be able to do stuff like that, to try other things out, to try and build up, because if I could leave it tomorrow, if there was a viable alternative to YouTube, I would move in a heartbeat. But the problem is also, it is going to be almost impossible to bring the 17,555 at last time I checked people on YouTube over to the alternate site. So this site would have to be up regardless of that. But if there was a viable alternative, I would start that process of transferring almost immediately. But at this point in time, there really isn't. But I really want to, because YouTube has shown its true colors. You know, YouTube has cared more so about their own brand. They've cared more so about their damn algorithm, and they don't care how it negatively impacts both large and small channels. YouTube is going out of its way to make it more difficult for newer channels to get started. And, you know, there was an asshat on Twitter calling me out. This is someone who had been a patron member, who had supported me, who I had emailed, and, you know, messaged back and forth, helping this guy get ready, helping this guy perform, you know, to get up on a channel, promoting him during streams, sharing his videos, getting the dude started. And then all of a sudden, on a dime, this guy turns on me and starts going after me, starts going after the Fandom Menace, because he realized, there's already too much saturation in this one market, and so now I'm going to be the anti-Fandom Menace person. And sure enough, it did nothing for him because he really didn't have all that much to offer. But with that being said, when I'm looking to people like this, and I'm looking to the things that are being said, and I look to the way that it's being presented, I would love to be able to start bringing stuff over into different areas and to be able to start really focusing more on producing more content and more niche content. Because if the 17,000 people that follow me right now, if they actually got my videos every day, if they actually got notified by me, even if half of them got notified about my videos every single day, the view counts would be so consistent. It would be like, 6,000 views, 6,000 views, because that's almost about half of what I have right now. It'd actually probably be a little bit more. But now it's like, okay, I make a video that people aren't interested in the algorithm, meaning non-subscribers, and then only 1,000 people watch it, of which very little are actual subscribers, because the subscribers are either being unsubscribed or they're not being notified. And so you're dealing with this nonsense. YouTube doesn't give a damn about this nonsense either. And so we're just kind of left in this state of, okay, well, what can we do? Other than going to another platform, of which there really aren't any right now, we're kind of stuck. And there are certain channels that have had to make 30 videos on one topic every single day. And I do not criticize them for that, because they know that unless they do that, YouTube will crucify them. The algorithm will destroy them. And these are channels that they need this kind of buildup because they rely almost entirely on it. You know, for me, I've got multiple, you know, I've got different ways in which, you know, I'm able to support myself. You know, I'm a teacher. Again, I'm a teacher. I have a day job. I'm able to support myself. This is something that I do for fun. But it's frustrating because I'm looking at all these things and I see all of these people who are awesome people. Every single person watching this stream right now on DLive, on Periscope, on YouTube, you are all fantastic. And you are the reason why I keep coming back over and over again, loving the streams, never wanting them to end. And I want to make sure y'all are able to get as much as you possibly can. And the problem that we're running into here, though, is that YouTube does not want to support that. They don't want to support the creator to audience relationship. They would rather focus more so on their damn algorithm, trying to help them out, than on actual content creators themselves. So, I mean, I'm all ears when it comes to people who might have other alternate ideas about how to move forward and what are some things that we can start doing to move forward. But until that happens, we're kind of stuck. Sadly enough, we are kind of stuck. Obi-Wan says you must read Survivor's Quest. It's the Zan sequel to Hand of Thrawn duology connected to Abbott Flight. Really? Oh, there's another one? Ooh, Obi-Wan. I'm going to have to check that out. Lou says the original Avatar creators, Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, supposedly they're working closely with Nickelodeon too, so there may be hope just like the sun. I hope so. Bruce Lombardo says, why not use Minds? I post my stuff. I post the same things I put on Twitter, I put over on Minds. No traction. No traction whatsoever. I've got tags in there. I've got all these other things, and there's no traction over there. Again, I'm trying. I'm over on Minds. I'm over on Gab, and I can't dedicate myself fully to those networks. Again, I don't have the power to dedicate myself fully to those networks, but every time, you guys know, I post all of my links on my Discord, on my Twitter, but I also post them every time to Gab and to Minds. No traction. Now, I'm sure if I dedicated more time to them, I could build up audiences there, but as you can see, it's not viable. It is just not viable. Rhaegar Targaryen says, before Season 8, Daenerys, I am not here to be the Queen of the Ashes. After Season 8, bah, psych. Just kidding, but for real, Dracarys. Yep. In fact, wasn't it the episode previous or earlier in the episode when they were in the War Council room that she didn't want to be the Queen of Ashes? Isn't that interesting? Nickel Noodle says, I can no longer make D-Live lemonade because I don't have it in me to spam the chat endlessly. Nickel Noodles, man, no problem at all. I know D-Live has become so frustrating lately. They have really just honestly begun to suck, and it is really sad. It is really sad because D-Live had so much potential, and they decided to change things because they, everyone, all the shows out there are trying to say, oh, they're doing it to try and help content creators. No, they're doing it because they were losing too much Lino. They were losing too much Lino from people who were liking being able to lurk in streams, which to me is perfectly fine, because if you can't physically type or maybe are not comfortable typing, you should be able to listen and gain crypto in that way. If that's your whole model, that should be how it goes. The Senate says, I am drawing the Phantom Menace poster we talked about on Twitter, and I'm now realizing this poster needs to be bigger to fit your channel icon, but I'll try and fit it in there. Hey, dude, again, if you need to use that or you need to use a different picture, let me know, man. If there's anything I can do to help, I would appreciate it. Because I appreciate you just even putting the effort into to help with that. Oh, man. Also, River, could you please not do that, please? Could you please not do that, please? I would appreciate it very much. So, oh my gosh, now I'm just, I'm so far behind on YouTube. Super says, I think I have to go for now. There's some stuff I have to get done this evening. Thanks for hosting another great stream. You have a good one, Super. Appreciate it. Tech Guy says, what about Wolverine versus Ethan Van Sciver? Wolverine would whoop that ass. EVS needs to finish his damn graphic. He needs to finish the damn comic. He's like overdue on that. He needs to finish that. EVS needs to stop, buying homes and such and instead focus on important things like that. Wolverine will whoop his ass. He's too busy. Random says, I think the Phantom Menace should create a portal and teleport to Lucasfilm so we can fight Kathleen Kennedy's Avengers style and get to stream Phantom Menace Assemble. Wouldn't that be something? John Wiggler says, Odin, you missed out. The Two Towers and Return of the King games by EA were great. Again, if I was a gamer. Alex Martinez says, you remember when Viggo Tarasov told his son that John Wick that he saw John once kill somebody with a pencil, and then in John Wick 2 we see him kill somebody with a pencil? Yes. Could you imagine? It'd be amazing. Alexander says, after what happened, do you wish Game of Thrones got a renewal instead of Season 8? Also, I told you it would be rushed. I mean, I think that many people were thinking different things about the season. I think that if this was the season moving into another, it would probably have gotten renewed because I think that the earlier episodes got such great traction and views that it would have been enough to justify the lower turnout. But I mean, yeah, at this point, it's not going to end well for their legacy. Alex Martinez says, that's just some good writing right there. Look at D&D. Random Never Doing, the orcs are SJWs. No. SJWs are trying to say that the orcs were being victimized because of racism. Orange Chat Review says, if you and everyone want even more rich lore of Middle-earth, the best channel that goes through even the god of Middle-earth is called Geek Zone. Orange Chat, you know what to do, man. Send that my way. Rosetta Allen says, as you said, time travel should never be done, even to go back in time to kill a historical monster. The effects it could have could wipe out all of the earth. And again, that's why, to me, time travel only really works well in comedies, when those rules don't matter. Just going to be honest. Slijo Neon says, Jack Bauer, Jason Bourne, or James Bond, which JB has your allegiance? Probably Jack Bauer now or up to season 5. If we're up to season 5, Jack Bauer. If we're not, if we're past that and including all of Jack Bauer post season 5, I would say James Bond. That would be my answer to that. Sticky V says, CinemaSins Endgame video will be 2 hours long. Holy crap, can't wait for that. Rhaegar Targaryen says, Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 6, if time travel confirmed through Bran, OMG. And did they seed it in the plot earlier too? They did, because remember, he wargs back in time and actually is able to speak to his father, and his father turns around as if he hears them. So we know he can interact with the past. Also, Hodor. The entire Hodor creation was because he kept yelling, hold the door, when he was back in time, and that's what caused Hodor to become, the person that we know him to be. And so with that being in mind, we know that time travel could come into play, but I think Gary over on Nerdrotic says it best, that is not likely to happen. And the reason why is because these guys do not care about creating really cool and awesome character arcs. They would much rather focus on moving on to something else instead. Let's see. Lou says, did you see that Peggy Carter's old partner turned out to be Cap Afton all this time? Yeah, so now the writers, if you haven't heard this, now the writers are trying to say and justify that in reality, Captain America was Peggy Carter's husband all along, which does not make sense because if we're to believe the logic of the movie, if he goes back in time, he creates a new timeline, correct? Okay. Well, that means that in his present, where the timeline existed of him meeting Peggy when she was older and her saying that she had met somebody and that they had kids together, guess what? That physically then could not be unless you were going to admit that time is actually linear. Again, they have many issues and it does not make sense and it does not work, and their version of time travel sucks. John Early, I like Lois Lane, but I like Zack Snyder's version of her. The version of Lois Lane who appeared on the CW didn't do anything for me. Personally, I like Lois Lane because I actually like the actress that played her. Whether she is true to the comics or so, I don't really know because, I'm not really a comics guy, but the actress that played her, I really liked for the most part as far as her performances go. Nickel News says, rumor has it Zac Efron is being cast as Adam Warlock, but Keanu could pull it off as well as Supreme Being. Keanu would be awesome. And as I've been saying before, Zac Efron being anything, I would be okay with almost all of it. And Laura Ryan stole my fanfiction story. I don't think she's here right now, but if she were, she would know that I mean that. I mean, Zephron, oh man, Zephron is boss. Zephron is life. Orange Eye Review says, oh hi, did you finish the lightning audio that I sent you? If so, what did you think? I have not finished it yet. I'm so far behind. Hassan says, SJWs with time travel. Ooh, we might need Doc Odin for that one. I know, seriously. Good God, great Scott. 1.21 gigawatts. Great Scott. That's indeed true. Tina says, I could deal with the Orville on Hulu since that's how I watch it. Same here. They just need to keep their filthy paws off the TV show's content. Let Seth be Seth. And I'm imagining that because Seth has signed on to it, that obviously has an aspect to it. Sticky V says, no, don't leave YouTube. Just that it's insane what they are doing on others these days. And that's just the thing, Sticky V, is that I have no plans to leave YouTube anytime soon. But if there was a way for me to start to transfer somewhere else, I'm going to tell you right now, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I would stay on YouTube. My presence would definitely, if I was doing videos the same way, I would continue to upload to YouTube as well as any other alternative sites too. It's just that I would really like to start to transfer over to a site that's actually going to, notify people when videos go live. That is actually going to keep you subscribed and not unsubscribe you every 5 frickin' days. John Early says, imagine Disney Animation making direct-to-video 2D animation films of the Star Wars Thrawn trilogy. Think of the DC Animation has done with direct-to-video animation movies in the past. Oh man, it'd be fantastic. It would be amazing. I mean, DC has completely owned Marvel when it comes to their animated content. Marvel's had the live action on hold. DC has had all of the, I would say, not only the animation, but television too. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like the only real show that they have that's still in the public eye. Agent Carter, I heard, was pretty good, but it was very short-lived. Think about all of the really cool DC shows. I know that some of them have gone off the rails. Arrow, though, being to me a great example. I loved me some Arrow. The Senate says, no, not the Orville. I just started watching it a few days ago. I'm currently on season 1, episode 3. Disney, keep your hands off. It is so good. Can't wait to hear more. Rosetta says, do an early morning stream. I'll come back. Heck, you can interview me. Just teasing. So, my God. No, again, hey, you know what? That might be, if there's that much time and that much content, it might actually allow me to start doing more interview type stuff. But, Rosetta, I would love to be, if you ever want me on a stream on your channel, hey, let me know. Excuse me. Random Nerd Doom says they should for Johnny Wick 4, where John fights SJWs, then takes them and uses black magic to drain their life force, then uses it to bring his dog back from the dead in the first movie. Wouldn't that be something? John Winkler says, Odin, also, aren't you a 40-year-old white dude? No wonder why you don't like A Wrinkle in Time. I know, right? I'm actually 30. How dare you assume my age, you ageist? Oh my gosh, how dare you? Who do you think you are, John? Who do you think you are? Oh, man. The Senate says, what will your summer schedule be? Because I'll be working in the summer when school ends. No idea yet, Senate, because this is going to be the first year where I'm not doing summer camp. And I will tell you this much, once summer really starts to wrap up, really starts to go, there are going to be a couple of weeks when my Monday and Tuesday streams, and actually I think a Saturday stream too, are going to be out of whack time-wise. I'll keep you guys posted on that as much as I can. But because of those streams being out of whack, it means that I'll have more opportunity and more time beforehand to be able to do some earlier streams. So I'll let you guys know as soon as summer actually starts and I have like a moment or two to like be able to sit back and relax. That's when I'll be able to get back to you guys. Random says we should all round up the SJWs and put them on a deserted island there. No internet hungry ogres live there and welcome them. Alex McCarthy says, I get notifications for you, all your vids. Alex McCarthy, glad to hear it, dude. Micah, you just keep being you. Don't ever change. Hey, Micah, I have no plans on doing that. And also, Micah, thank you for that super chat too, man. He says, no, bud, you are fantastic. Don't change. No, dude. Micah, you are fantastic. You don't change. Please. And yes, Random, they have souls. Taylor Potter says, it's time to start the Odin initiative. Yes, it is. It is time. Angela West, thank you for the subscribe. It's been a while since I've had a subscribe over on YouTube. As you can see, remember, guys, earlier streams, when you'd have like, maybe 5 or 6 new subscriptions throughout a stream, now I've gone through several streams where there's been max 1. Like, that might be the only subscription that we gain this stream. And that's just because YouTube has been crapping all over the algorithm. Dion, thank you so much for that lemon over on DLive, man. I appreciate it. All my people over on DLive right now. Let's see. What can I do? What can I do for you? All right. DLive people, because y'all have been patient. Because y'all have been patient with me. We're going to make this pot nice and big. There we go. Boom. There you go, guys. All right. And so stick around towards the end if you want to have a chance. And also remember, the more active you are in the chat, don't try and spam in the chat because it's not going to help you out. But I will say this much. As long as you remain active in the chat, just going back and forth, having normal conversation with each other, you'll have a higher chance of getting, Peabody's been very consistent, which is why he got a lot the last chat. And so that is how, don't spam. Spamming will not help you. Spamming actually will not help you. It actually ends up hurting you. So yeah, Blue Lou, please don't spam. If that's just that one, then that's fine. But thank you for the lemon. I really do appreciate that, Blue Lou. And again, my DLab people, thank you for your patience. It really does mean a lot. I know that I was going to try and do so much more over here, but you guys know there's just been so much nonsense been going on. No, don't spam Brad. Do not push that over there. Let's see. Tina says, JP on Egotastic Fun Time still get a chance and quit his day job, but YouTube has been hurting his numbers. He's going to start looking for work again. No, seriously, and that's the reason why. It would be so cool. And I've never planned. It was never on my agenda to become a full-timer, but if the opportunity was ever there, I would consider it for sure because it's just so much fun. It really is. It's so much fun. I love talking to you guys. I love doing these streams. Seriously, if I could do 3 or 4 videos a day at covering every aspect of the news, not just Captain Marvel, not just Star Wars, but all aspects of the movie realm, that would be awesome. And you know what? If they were able to create a system that actually benefited people who cover that kind of content, it would be awesome. The Senate says, yeah, preach that YouTube hate. Oh, YouTube sucks. Go ahead, demonetize the stream, YouTube. You've already just totally, butchered my algorithm. So what else could you do? Alexander says, it's possible the future for free thinkers is subscribe star funding while making videos on BitChute whenever YouTube chases enough people off their platform. BitChute does not really have a very clear model as far as advertisements, or rather as far as money made from watches and for views. It's very uncertain. Subscribestar I have a Subscribestar. You can find a link to it in the description of the video. If you don't like Patreon and you want to try Subscribestar, I do have it there. It's got the same exact tiers as over on Patreon. But so far Subscribestar has just been, I think I had my first Subscribestar donation. In fact, that reminds me, I need to add that person to my list, because Subscribestar, I believe, charges you right away, while Patreon charges you at the beginning of the month. Now, you can change that setting, but I don't want to, because I don't want people to make a commitment to something that they're going to end up changing their mind on. So let me go ahead and pull that up, and I'll give him a special shout out since he's my only winner now. Brandon Blick. So Brandon Blick, thank you so much for being my only, as of the 12th of May, my only Subscribestar subscriber. I appreciate that a lot. And as I messaged you before, I will try and message you to get you all the content that you need, because you would get access to the podcast. If you join in on the Discord, you of course get the nice little awesome blue Discord icon, and therefore you get access to the patron only channels on there also, and it's really fun stuff. So Brandon Blick, I have no idea who you are in the actual chat, but just keep me posted on that. Nicolino says, what if you did a combination movie blog, clothing haul videos? You could review John Wick 3 while showing off some new waters you just got from Cabela's. I could do that. I could totally become one of those channels where it's just like, oh, let's do that. You know, to be honest, if money was not an object, and if I had the ability to do the things that I really want to do, like the things that I'm most passionate about, I would have a secondary channel, all tech. I love tech. I love talking about tech. I eat up tech videos all the time. And to me, it would just be so cool to be that person where you get sent phones. And I'd be like, it's the newest phone. And I get to talk about it. It'd be cool. I would love to do that. John Winkler says, Odin, are you a fan of Avatar TLA? I came to series late, but I love it. Korra is trash. Never got into the animated Avatar series. Rosetta Allen says, so with the new model of DLive, how are people with disabilities supposed to be able to interact? I know typing hurts a lot. Great point, Rosetta Allen. You know what? That is something I feel like any of my DLive people should probably, if you want to put in a very a good complaint, say, hey, how can my people over on DLive that might have disabilities and not be able to actually type, how can they also be able to pick things up? You know, it's already because dude, basically someone said, yeah, Mark Taylor says, so DLive is already starting to suck. Pretty much. I mean, they had a really cool system going. There was an incentive for people to go over there, because as you watch a stream, you were able to gain free cryptocurrency. Now you can only get that by actively participating in the chat, and only after this chest gets filled up and the streamer releases it do the top like 6 people get the entire remains of it. Like it's very, very unfair. Let's see. Castro Marshall says, you're amazing. Are you a strict professor? I don't call myself a professor. I'm a high school teacher. But that's fun. I would say that, yes, I'm definitely strict, but I do so because I'm no more strict than anyone else. You know, if you are being an ass, I'm going to call you out. If you are being lazy, I'm going to call you out. The only people that don't like me, the only students that don't like me are the ones that aren't good kids, are the ones that need to learn how to grow the hell up. The ones who are fine, the ones who are mature, usually love me, because I'm never going to, you know, I'm never going to treat them negatively, because there's no need to. Perfect Comic says, Hale ABS would kill Wolverine with a pencil. Nope. Tina says, did you watch the video comparing the Helm's Deep scene to Winterfell? People kept joking. We loved Helm's Deep. What was that black bland at the bottom of the screen? John Winkler says, Odin, you should have a conversation with Wolf. He's a huge Tolkien fan and taught me some lore. I think I know who Wolf is. Taylor Potter says their own logic doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. Doesn't work. The Senate says, no, Russo brothers, stop trying to explain it. Just stop. Yep, they keep explaining it, and it just doesn't work. It gets worse and worse and worse. Rosetta Allen says, wouldn't it go farther if the Russo brothers would just admit they screwed up and stop pretending to be brilliant? Yes, it would. Yes, it would, and they would gain the respect of a lot of more people. Let's see. Tina says that Orange Eye Reviews mentioned the Geek Zone. I subscribe to them too. I'll send you the link in the Twitter along with one for the YouTube channel, Men of the West. Nice. Thank you. Slasher Neon says, Rebels had a good time travel. Who wouldn't save Ahsoka? No, great point. Again, I think there are series out there that are a little bit more on the serious side that can handle it pretty well. But as I still stand by my original point, though, that for the most part, comedies are usually able to handle it better because you don't take their version of time travel nearly as seriously. Mr. Peabody, thank you so much, man, for that ice cream. I appreciate it. The Sanctum, thank you for the follow. Muck Forever Zoe, thank you very much for the follow as well. Appreciate you, bud. Rosetta says, it would be awesome. I'd have to get followers first. I suck at social stuff. I need serious help. I feel insulted someone called you 40 because I'm older than Lou, still not getting notifications. Lou, so sorry, man. Lou, the only thing I can say is make sure you're subscribed and that the bell is clicked. And if it's not, Discord, I always try and post the videos as soon as they go live. I post links to I put a tag in everyone on Discord to post the videos there. On Twitter, I post the videos there too, and that's pretty much all I can tell you if those other avenues just aren't working. Rosetta Allen says, no stories given YouTube sucks, flat out sucks /Jedi. Yep. Totally agree. Totally agree with you. John Early says, I have almost every season of my favorite superhero TV shows from the 90s. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Lois and Clark, Batman Beyond, and The Flash. Awesome. Still really want to get, at some point, the Batman Animated Series Blu-ray. It looks so damn good. Never really got into Superman, I would say. Spider-Man, never got into it either. Batman Beyond, I watched a few episodes of, but I still love the originals more. And then, of course, I am currently making my way through the X-Men series, and it's great. I've gotten one more episode through, for those who have been asking. Alexander says, Mark Dice says at the end of his video, since YouTube demonetized my videos left and right, be sure to sponsor me on Patreon and PayPal, but he has 1.4 million subs. I know, seriously, the fact that these channels that have millions of subs are even themselves starting to feel the financial implications, I mean, that should tell you a lot. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I do make stuff from the channel. I do make money from the channel, but if you were to compare to what it is now to what it was like a couple months ago before they made all these random algorithm changes, it's night and day. And I'm not really complaining because it's extra for me because I already have, again, I'm already working and this is more for fun than for anything else. But because I do want to be able to provide more, I do want to invest more in the channel, time-wise, financially, to make things better for you guys and to offer more content as well. It's harder to be able to justify that when I'm not able to, to be able to make it work as such. Grandmaster Yoda says, will you like to join a stream if I send an invite to you if you are a skeptic to people you don't know? I respect that. Yeah, so basically, dude, DM me on Twitter if you can, and just let me know. And if you have a YouTube channel, let me see your YouTube channel so I can see some of the videos that you make. But no, yeah, if you invite me to a stream, I'm much more likely to join. People who ask to join my streams, that usually doesn't happen. 70B says, you are a techie? Yes, I am a techie. I love tech. I'm wearing a Pebble. Oh, no, I'm not wearing a Pebble because it's charging. Now it's fully charged, though, I bet. Is it fully charged? Fully charged. Perfect. It's a Pebble. It's an old piece of technology, but it's awesome. It's very versatile. It does everything that I need to, but it's because, just like I mentioned in my last night's stream, it's because my Tick Watch broke because the plastic isn't good enough. But yeah, they just released for example, they just released information for the OnePlus, the OnePlus 7 Pro, and it looked fire. 70B says, always when I'm eating. Poor yes. Barf. Alexander says, UA said he lives in Tennessee. Maybe he will be in your next class. Good Lord, no. Well, he wouldn't be. He acts like a high schooler, but I'm sure that he's well beyond high school. Thank God. But oh man, we're gonna be in the same state. Oh, Lord. Orange Eye Review says, I get notifications and haven't been unbelled or unsubbed. Okay, I gotcha. And again, some people have different experiences with it, but the fact that anyone is getting unsubbed and such is just ridiculous. Aaron C, been busy, so might have missed it, but did your work situation work out? Hope you're well. Aaron C, thank you very much, man. Yes, I got a job offer and I've accepted it, so we'll be moving to Tennessee by the end of the summer. Thank you so much, man. Castro Mosa says, best power bank you use? Ooh, great question. Anchor is a great brand. Anchor is a great brand, so I would always recommend from them. I have a 15,000 milliamp power bank from them. I don't have the brand on me right now, but yeah, if you have any tech questions, guys, please message me on Discord or on Twitter, and I can help you out. Even if it's not move related, if it's tech related, I might be able to help you because I'm a huge, huge tech head. Soul Assassin says, I'm looking for a new chair. Is the one you have any good? I like it a lot. It is, for the most part, comfortable. It gets a little warm because of the fabric it's made out of. It is a cheaper version of a much higher quality chair. Overall, I personally like it. However, what I would say is you need to figure out what chair are you trying to get it to be used for. Do you need the back support? Do you need the lumbar support? Do you need these things? Do you need I personally cannot have a chair unless it has, why am I blanking out on what these things are? Armrest. I need to have armrest. And so these are all things that you need to be able to ask to be able to figure out what kind of chair would be for you. John Early says, someone on YouTube asked why Doctor Strange just didn't put Thanos into a time loop like he did in Dormammu in his origin film, Shrugged Shoulders. Yeah, pretty much like, great question. And then the excuse is, oh no, but he went through 16 million different scenarios and only one did they win. That doesn't explain why the time loop doesn't work, though. Still. Rosetta Allen says, I've had it unsub me to Mecha Random many times. Once again, I'm not surprised by this. Lou says, had to resub and re-notify. You were right. Lou, dude, I'm sorry, man. God, that sucks. That pisses me off. And when you let them know on Twitter and social media, they're just like, we're sorry. We're sorry. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. Orange Eye Review says, my most tech advanced watch I ever had was a calculator watch when I was 8 or 9. Oh, the calculator watches were great. Oh, I love the calculator watches. They were so good. They were so much fun. I remember there was a watch once where you could turn on a TV with it, and I was so jealous of my friend who had it. Tina says, I want to remind you that there will be no more computer building or any other kind of building. No. So if there ever became a secondary tech channel, it would be like reviewing phones or reviewing watches or reviewing laptops. Yeah, my building days, I think, are long behind me. But hey, for all I know, who knows? Bear says, I just picked up a Samsung 512 gigabyte SSD 970 Pro NVMe M.2 for the MSI laptop. Dude, that is great. And no, those were on sale recently, so you probably got that for a good deal, Bear. That's a good pickup. They're very fast. Rosetta Allen says, no stories for them, period. Feel the sorry wrath. Ringar Targaryen says, love the new Game of Thrones, The North Remembers memes based off of the Pepperidge Farm Remembers memes. I have to look those up. That sounds great. That's tonight says, one of my parody accounts got unsubscribed to you. Damn you, YouTube. God, that sucks. Johnny B, thank you for the subscribe, man. I appreciate it. If that is one of the people that's resubbing, thank you for the resub. And that's why I wanted to mention it, because people sometimes don't know that they are being unsubbed. Peabody, thank you for the ice cream. Surfesco, no, thank you for the follow. The Sanctum, thank you very much for the ice cream. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Lou says, watched Shazam last night. Pretty good movie, but to get woke in line was a little odd. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really notice that stuff nearly as much. Bear says, $159. Yeah, for that, it's actually not that bad. It's actually not that terrible. It's good stuff. All right, guys. So, and also speaking of that, my plan is over the summer, when I am able to, once things get settled with the house, because obviously we want to try and keep finances focused on selling the house, buying the house, traveling, things like that. Once those things kind of settle down, plan on being able to finally get an XLR mic and try and really up the audio quality game. I think the camera is going to stay the same because I think it's a good camera. It does everything that I need to, but I have noticed that on some issues, on some things with my audio setup, when my computer gets powered down for any reason, or anytime there's some type of issue, sometimes the audio levels just go all over the place. And I just noticed that the Snowball, though it's fine, is not the best that I would like. I'm a huge audiophile, and so I would rather have better audio. So that's like later down the line. It's probably like end of July, August, once everything is settled down. But that would probably be the next major upgrade overall. But let's go ahead and start to wrap these things up. Castromosa says, have you tried to look on China-made phones? So there are some very good phones made from Chinese manufacturers. You always want to make sure, though, you go to a trustworthy one. Xiaomi makes some very good stuff. Huawei makes some very good stuff. Now, of course, in the United States, there's been all of the stuff with China and spying, specifically with Huawei, but it does not mean that their products are any less good. So privacy might be a concern, but as far as the actual products themselves, they're, for the most part, pretty solid stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you need it for, and you get much better prices for that. And you always want to make sure if you buy a phone from a Chinese manufacturer that it's going to be compatible on your service network, and there's ways to test that and to see. Rosetta Allen says, weird question. Do you think the books of David Eddings, I want to see someone non-SJW make them into Lord of the Rings style movies. Never heard of them. The Senate says, what's your favorite hero in cinema? Mine is Luke Skywalker. Favorite hero in cinema? Gosh, Humphrey Bogart from Casablanca. You didn't say what kind of hero. Didn't have to be a superhero. Castromosa says, maybe your secondary channel, you can unbox gadgets. That would be cool. That would be cool. But the secondary channel, as it is now, to me, is more of a haphazard collection of various things. So maybe I could start doing certain things like that over there. The problem, though, with unboxings is that because I'm not involved in the tech community, it would mean that to start off, I would need to buy them on my own. And I'm not really in the position where I can start to do that. I would love to, but not quite yet. John Early says, Dr. Stephen Strange gave Tony Stark an apology. Infinity War prior to Tony Stark saving everyone. Tony, there was no other way. Lou says, what operating system are you using? Operating system, it's Windows. So I'm using Windows on my main PC, if that's what you're asking. And I am an Android person because Apple sucks and is overpriced garbage. Rosetta Allen says he writes Middle-earth style stuff. Okay, very cool. All right, well, thank you so much, guys. And don't worry, D-Live people, stick around because I will be opening up the chest in a second. But let me give a shout out to my patrons. First off, let me shout out my subscribe star, Brandon Blick. Thank you so much, man, for being a subscriber over there. And to all of my patrons, huge shout outs to A Great Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Albertus, Magnus Baptist 702, Brian P, Chicago, Joe 47, Dan Maloney, Darkstar 57, Delete System 32, Dion, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista. And also, by the way, Enrique Evangelista has been the longest patron. He was my first patron all the way back in July of last year. So he's almost been a patron for a full year. He has been the longest and most consistent patron. So huge shout out to Enrique Evangelista as my first patron. Huge shout out to you. I was looking at that earlier because there was again, as I mentioned, that same dude that was just being a total ass on Twitter. He was trying to say, oh man, I was your only patron for like months. And then I was like, no, you weren't. And you weren't even my first because it was Enrique Evangelista, who's an awesome dude. And hopefully he's doing fine. I know that he was he got in contact with me during a stream that 2-3 months ago. And so prayers still heading over to you, man. I don't know if you rewatched these or not, but huge shout out to you, good sir. I think his name goes by Gizmo87. So if you see Gizmo87 in the comments or anything, just tell him Odin says hi. Odin still loves you and appreciates your support. Entertainment Hacker, the Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunka Funkin' Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Drop Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Projar Sarif, Proper Ginevra, Riff Magos, Shenglong, Sir Lance Elato, Theodora the K-Man, the DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, and Tina B. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a good night. Pin drop, you have a good night. Good sir. Lou, you have a good one as well. The Senate says, yes, Odin's on my side. Apple sucks. Apple does indeed suck so much. Rosetta Allen says, on Petsu Waste, Odin, may God bless and keep you. Wakan, Takan, Kitsi, Un. Hopefully I'm getting closer in pronunciations because I'm trying not to turn it into a Latin pronunciation. Random Nerd Doom says, is it better to be a kid in today's world or back in the early 2000s? Depends on what you mean by that. Nerdrotic is in the chat, guys. Hail, Gary. Hail, Nerdrotic. Awesome, awesome guy. Gary, are you free to have that talk that we need to have? Or have you been invited back onto the High Council because you're so popular? Let me know. We'd love to try and help you fix everything going on. So, Gary, just let me know, man. Rosetta Allen, I say it in my videos. Check my wall. Okay, Rosetta Allen, I will have to check that out. Better today, no doubt, says Gary. Awesome, 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 awesome. But we definitely want to help you out. All right, The Sanctum, thank you for the ice cream. And, yeah, so D-Live people, Get ready, D-Line people. The chest is about to be distributed. Be ready to click on the distribution in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right, claim it. Claim away. Claim away and good luck. Claim away and good luck. See, Gary says, hi, I may be free. Depends on Miss Nerdrotic. Hail Odin chat. Hail to Gary. Go check out Gary. Go check out Nerdrotic. He is seriously, no question, my favorite YouTuber at this point in time. I still, to this day, and I show it every single time because it's true, because it's completely true. Look at the top of my thing. Whose stream is that? Whose podcast is that? That's right, that's Gary's, because I'm listening to him and Doomcox because I wasn't able to watch all of it, but I'm listening right now to him and Doomcock tear apart the latest episode of Game of Thrones. Peabody being the most active in the chat, coming away with 23, Lino, Brad Beer Hunter coming away with 14, Poppy 10 with 10, Forrest Bear with 8, and Dion with 7. So for those who got the Lino, congratulations. Congratulations indeed. It sounds like some people who did not get on the list actually got some too. Patrick Duff got 6.4. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Uprise 1488 and MyWest Lover, thank you for the follow. MyWest Lover, you have been here before. Don't just follow and refollow like that, man. Come on, you're better than that. Random says, so I shouldn't keep the time machine to stop Kathleen Kennedy? No. Gary. All right, seriously though, I love you guys so much. You are awesome. You are amazing, beautiful people. It's so much fun to do these streams nonstop. Please go check out the High Council, which should be starting in the next 10 minutes or so. I'm not sure what channel it's on, but don't worry, my Valkyrie will let you know what channel it is on. Thank you again so much for all my people on DLive. Thanks to anyone watching on Periscope, and thank you all to those on YouTube. Make sure you're still subscribed. As I mentioned before, subscriptions have been falling, not because people are simply leaving the channel, because YouTube has been playing things around, unsubscribing people, and all this other nonsense. So if you can, share, like, do whatever you can on your end, whatever you can do to support if you want to, if you trust and believe in the content. Again, if you don't worry about it. But if you do, I would appreciate it. Echo-based network. Holy crap, dude. Coming in at the last minute. Thank you so much for the super chat, man, for the $5 super chat. He says, YouTube unsubbed us from your channel. Just noticed by seeing you live on Twitter. Anyways, back to being subbed. Are you good with OBS? That's what we use. I am. I use OBS. I use Restream too. If you need help, man, just like I've been telling Gary, if you need help, let me know. I will do the very best that I can to help you, dude, because seriously, this is so ridiculous. So Echo-based network, as you can see, someone who is subbed, who is unsubbed, because again, YouTube sucks. We need to find an alternate route. I would love to be a part of building something new. And if Gary ever said, hey, this is what I want to do, I'd be like, dude, I'm right there with you, because we need something new. We need something different. And it's really sad. Captain F-Ed, thank you for dropping the 5 lemons, dude. Wow, thank you for the 5 lemons over on DLive. And Captain F-Ed, actually, thank you for the 6 because you dropped one earlier than that. But Echo-based Network, glad to have you back, dude. Seriously. Anyway, guys, you're all amazing and beautiful people. Thank you so much, again, for all your love and support. Brad, thank you for the ice cream, man. You are great. Love you, love you, love you, love you always. Have a great night, everyone. See you guys on Saturday. And if anything else happens, any other crazy streams happen, I will let you guys know on the Discord or on Twitter. Follow me on those locations. Links in the description. If you don't have a link in the description, ask the Valks before the stream ends, and they will help you out. Have a wonderful day. Hail, Gary. Hail to you, good sir. Please message me. Let me know if we can get yourself set up correctly. And Echo-based Network, the same offer goes to you also if you need any help. Love you guys. God bless.